Hello and welcome to On the Edge Wheelchair Creator. This is with Dr. Lisa. This is episode 18. As you may have noticed, episode 17 was 44 minutes long, and I really didn't get started to the last 3 or so minutes. And so we're going to start off where we ended with the last stream. Keith has just prepared me a lovely cup of tea, which I will be sipping on, trying not to make too much noise as we go. It's too hot right now. And I hope the audio is all perfect. I suppose I need to have a quick listen to make sure, but I think it probably is. And here we go. We are at the ARC. Let's just move this down. ARC. Day 1 at the ARC Conference 2023. And they are quite happy with themselves. Today started out with a bang. I don't know if a gun went off, but anyway. And this is a 3-day journey where the people at ARC are asking, is there a better story for societies? And they are claiming at a time of declinism, can we develop a vision which will bring courage, strength, and hope? I don't believe we are in a time of declinism. Perhaps it appears that way because of the media and all of the shenanigans that are going on in the governments. But this is what we're looking at here anyway. Although there are many more conference talks, Gesundheit. That's Keith. He's having some sneezes or coughs. Although there are many more conference talks on our YouTube channel, here are 3 highlights from day 1. So we got as far as this at the very end of the last podcast or broadcast. So Baroness Philippa Stride. He's going to blow his nose. Why don't we go ahead and I don't know if we know how to mute stuff. Let's see. Mic. Probably not. Something's beeping and buzzing on my phone. Gonna go ahead and put the earbud in. Not quite prepared. There is a lot that must be done to do something this complex as recording, writing content, and broadcasting, and figuring out what the content's going to be, and figuring out if you have something to say. And I'm kind of just looking. So here we go. So we learned about Baroness Philippa Strade is the ARC CEO. And then there was a panel discussion between Jordan Peterson, Aya Hershey Ali, John Anderson, and Os Guinness, and the former U.S. Speaker Kevin McCarthy. We are releasing speeches and sessions from the conference on our social channels throughout each day. Make sure to subscribe and share the conference talks far and wide. So here we are, Baroness Philippa Strade, why we need ARC. And I guess we're going to listen to this, rebuild the foundations of our nations. And in a way, this is truly what has to happen. And each nation must face this question on its own and figure out what it wants to do. This does not need to be a centralized project. However, this is what this may end up being. Let's have a listen. Okay, well, so there are 72 nations represented there by people. Right. Okay, sorry if I sound a little whatever I sound. I'm not sorry. Okay. Oh, what is that? A little bing. All right, let's just keep listening because maybe there's something great going to come out of this. And what would that be? Oh, that's a bit loud and upsetting. Can we turn the volume down? Wow, we have to turn it way down. Too loud. Way too loud. Way too loud. So this is the place where we found the ark for the first time, was on this conversation. This is a new conversation. This is Jordan Peterson, as you've never heard him before, talking about the Israel-Palestine conflict and the symbolism of war, religion, psychopaths, and power, kindness, and a vision for the future. Find out more about ARC at this arcforum.com, and I don't know what I can do about how loud that is. So we're just going to read through the content. So this was Russell Brand. Okay. And he has a locals channel. Now I do want to get back to my own. Oh, by the way, I broke my website. It is completely broken, but I'm going to work on it and we'll fix it. So here is the ARC. It's a 5-page document statement of vision written February 12, 2023. So this is not unlike the kinds of things that are going on with. I mean, is this a decentralization or a different group of centralizers? Okay. They say that everything has gotten better, and the good news, life has improved dramatically over the past few centuries for almost everyone, everywhere, at an ever accelerating rate. And I guess that's what we're seeing, and we're just having a little bit of a trouble really seeing what's going on. And maybe this art conference will help us with that. We exist as well in comparative peace. Violence of every form, from murder to insurrection, is increasingly rare and universally condemned, and fewer people than ever before confront the ravages of war. To note that all this is a miracle is to still understate the enormity of the accomplishment. Many problems, of course, remain. Hundreds of millions still labor under conditions of extreme privation. We still organize ourselves less efficiently than we might if we were truly wise. So this organizing ourselves more efficiently, that's quite true, but also a red flag. We are still determining how to maintain our economy, security, and prosperity in an efficient, cost-effective, and nature-conserving manner. Also red flags, because they're speaking as if it's all one. And I suppose it is. I suppose that's what the awakening is, in a way. But freedom, we got to talk about that. The foundations are secure, but the foundations are secure and good. We have learned how to act and conduct ourselves both individually and socially so that true human flourishing is possible on a scale heretofore undreamed of and practically impossible. This is page 2. I've read this already up till about page 3, so we're just going to skip right over down. It's only a 5-page document to the bottom half of page 4. We offer for the contemplation of those potentially interested in our initiative 6 fundamental questions, the answer to which might form the basis for a vision that is voluntarily compelling, motivating, stabilizing, and uniting. So yes, we need a uniting story, a founding story. Each nation needs to figure that out for themselves, and we don't really know who's going to help us with that. Vision and story. What destiny might we envision and pursue, such that we are maximally fortified against anxiety and despair, motivated by faith and hope, and voluntarily united in our pursuit of a flourishing and abundant world? You know, that's what I've been thinking about as well. And one of the things I think is, at least for me personally, is to think about the flower shop as that uniting potential. So if I can get that flower shop up and running, and everyone involved in helping me do that, because as a wheelchair user and a disabled person, my opportunities are less, it seems, and maybe I'm wrong, because I can't see the full picture. And that's quite likely true. All right, let's go to the next one. Responsible citizenship. How might we encourage individuals to reflect and to act so that they adopt full voluntary responsibility for themselves, present and future, as well as their families and communities? Well, first of all, you got to stop taxing them. The income tax has to go. That's very straightforward, simple thing that can be done. And that would give people a lot more control over what they, the responsibility that they can take for their lives. The government has to stop taking that responsibility or let go of those reins. All right. Family and social fabric. How might we effectively conceptualize, value, and reward the sacrificial, long-term, peaceful, child-centered, intimate relationships upon which psychological integrity and social stability most fundamentally depend? The family. Again, I say cut the income tax. That is one thing we could do. Do I have other ideas? Make air travel less horrible. That would be a good thing to do. Easier accessible, more local. Support the local airfields in having small companies that can fly us to see our families, so we don't have to all flock to central large airports. I think that would be good. Free exchange and good governments. How can we continue to gain from the genius of unbridled human innovation and the productive reciprocity of voluntary production and free exchange? Well, again, I say cut the income tax, get rid of that completely. Cut about 80% of government. I think that's a great idea. Talk about responsibility at school and what that means, and really develop that out widely and make it something that people would want to be able to teach and to learn and to grow with. While protecting ourselves against the tendency of successful organizations to degenerate into a state of willfully blind and narrowly self-serving authoritarianism, well, of course, well, get rid of the organizations, or please try not to. Well, I don't have an answer for that, but I will think about it. Energy and resources. How do we ensure provision of the energy and other resources crucial to our shared security and opportunity in a manner that is inexpensive, reliable, safe, effective, and widely and universally accessible? Well, I say reduce the price of gas, diesel, and other fuels. There could be steam plants in every town. I think that's a good idea. That was a good idea, and it still is a good idea. For heating, and then environmental stewardship. How might we properly pursue the environmental stewardship that most truly serves the needs and wants of all individuals today, tomorrow, and into the foreseeable future? Well, first of all, we have to stop talking about humans as being the problem. We have to stop talking about ourselves as being bad for the planet, since the planet was created for us. Concluding words. We at ARC do not believe that humanity is necessarily and inevitably teetering on the brink of apocalyptic disaster. Of course not. We do not believe that we are beings primarily motivated by lust for power and desire to dominate it. Of course. We do not regard ourselves or our fellow citizens as destructive forces. Of course. Living in an alien relationship to a pristine and pure natural world. Of course, we are nature. Everything we do is natural. See James True. Let's go and have a look at his content. See if we can pull that up here. Or we could finish reading this. Lost my spot. Oh, we're just in the first paragraph of the concluding words. We posit instead that men and women of faith and decisiveness, made in the image of God, can arrange their affairs with care and attention so that abundance and opportunity could be available for all. Of course. You just have to stop hypnotizing them into thinking other things are more important. And we can hypnotize them into remembering this, probably. Those who present a vision of inevitable catastrophe in the absence of severely enforced material privation are not wise seers of the future, but prisoners of their own limited, faithless imaginations. Okay, that's probably true. Those who scheme to lead using terror as a motivator and force as a cudgel reveal themselves by definition unfit for the job. We hope to encourage. Wow, that felt a little bad reading that. I don't know why. Nothing else really grabbed at my heart, but that sort of did. I don't know why. We hope to encourage the development of an alternative pathway uphill, out of both tyranny and the desert, stabilizing, unifying, and compelling to men and women of sound judgment and free will. Welcome to the ARC. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. There's the careful read that I've just done. And I hope you can appreciate that this is be careful. This is be careful. And where else are we going to go for this? I think we're going to wrap. Yeah, that's 24 minutes, and I appreciate you coming to join me. And I'm really happy to have been able to get through that little bit of the ARC, and we'll be looking a little more at the conference to see what else happened. And if you would be so gracious as to subscribe, I would really appreciate that. And comment. Thank you. And that is it for today's podcast, episode 18 of Wheelchair on the Edge Wheelchair Creator with Dr. Lisa. Thank you so much for joining. And that's it for today. That's it